Mini. So I'll just pick over all my stuff on the floor. I need a good tidy up in there. First thing I've done this morning is I've just rotated the flywheel again and just put the locking tools back on, just in case like someone had snuck in the night and changed the timing. Yeah. But yeah, so everything matches up lovely. It's all timed up. We're pretty confident. I can take all the pins out and stuff now. So really now it's going to be rebuilding what we've just all taken apart. So it'll be the covers back on, sump back on, all sealed up with our fancy sealant, and then ancillaries back on really. I didn't have to obviously take off all the exhaust, just FYI to anyone thinking about doing this. Handy not having to do that because it's a bit of a menace, to be honest. So I'll get those covers back on, which didn't actually need to come off. They can go back on, and then yeah, we'll just start rebuilding. I'll give you some progress as we're going through it really. So great success. So timing cover is back on now. We've used our fancy Durco, just zoom out, use our fancy Durco sealant. I'm just going to have a little clean up around the edges. As you can see, it's just smudged a little bit. Oh, it's going off quite quickly, this stuff. So this seal is a right pain to get in, but what I did in the end was I used this spacer which goes behind the flywheel here, and used it as like a tool for hitting it uneven. The problem is when you hit it on one side, the other end pops out, and vice versa, and it's just difficult. So if you use this, it actually spreads the load really nice, and it went on almost straight away, which was pretty cool. So probably sump on next. I need to just have a clean around all the mating surfaces quickly, make sure we're good to go. I'll get that back up. And then probably get the exhaust shields back on. So there you have it. Sump is on. Now I've just got to torque those bolts down to 24 Newton meters. Hey, it's a nice day too. Be a good day to put the engine in. Probably by the time I get around to putting the engine in, it'll be raining again. So that's the sump back on, all torqued up. Just make sure you remember this bolt secures your fuel lines, and around the other side you've got your engine mount just here, so make sure that's back on, or you'll soon find out when you come to put it back in the car. That's all the heat shields back on now. I've just got to secure this bit of like heat matting down, and there's a sensor that winds in there. And then it comes out of here. That's where I'm going to leave it just for the minute. I'm going to pop out, get some more supplies, probably a Mackey's as well, because I'm pretty hungry and it's my birthday, so birthday Mackey's. And I'll come back and I'll continue probably getting the rocker cover on next, and the fuel system. So just a quick one, I've just double checked. The torque for these bolts is only 10 Newton meters, as is the high pressure fuel rail clamp bolts. They're 10 Newton meters as well. I presume just because it's going down to plastic, because it's quite weak. So I'll get them done now. So now our rocker cover's on. I'm just cleaning up inside the rocker cover. There's a little bit of gunk in there that I'd missed, and now I'm cleaning up the injector seats using this injector seat. It's basically a reamer. I don't know if you can see in there, if I zoom in, see all that crap? That's all come out of injector number 2 hole. So we go in there just to make sure that the seat is nice and clean, and it will get a good seal, and we don't get any passing combustion gases or fuel spraying out really. So yeah, we'll carry on. So now we're on to the injectors. What we're going to do is give them a clean up. These are really clean already. I've done this one already, but we're just going to clean off the nozzle there, just with a brass brush, so it's not going to damage it, just to get the excess carbon off nice and gently. We also want to make sure the new copper washer is going to seat well up against the base here. So there's the old one that's come off there. Doesn't look like there's a great deal wrong with it. In all honesty, you could probably get away with using it again if you annealed it. We've got new ones though, so we're going to be fitting them. So what we're going to do is going to get a new copper washer out. Like so. We're going to get our copper grease and just get a little, oh dear, it's gone a bit watery, should be alright. There we go. We're going to get a little bit of copper grease and just put it around the base here. And then what that's going to do is, I don't think there's a right and a wrong way with these, they look the same both way up. So what that is going to do is just hold it at the edge here, just like that. So when we invert it and we're taking it down into the cylinder head, it's not going to fall off and then we're not going to seat it correctly. So I'm also just going to give it the actual shaft here a very light sort of smear, which will help them come out in the future as well. So next person can thank me. Okay. Alright, so injectors are all in the right position. I've just put the clamps in loosely, so the torque for these is an initial 8 Newton meters, and that just seats them essentially, and then followed by 24 Newton meters final torque. There's the high pressure fuel rail in and all the pipes. Nothing's done up tight just yet. The only ones I'm going to do up are these 4 and the main union off the high pressure fuel pump. Probably going to need to leave these loose anyway later on to bleed to a point, so I'm going to leave them for the minute. Plus they're easy to get to, so yeah. Next, probably inlet manifold. I think it's time to get that back on. So it would have been rude of me to not have a crack at decarboning this inlet manifold a bit. Came up alright. Got a little bit of carbon out. Oh yeah. That is the Great Pyramid of Giza's worth of carbon down there. You could build something substantial. So done the same sort of thing. I'll just show you over here. I've just had a clean up as well on the actual engine here. Again, it was really carboned up, so I was very careful to make sure I was only pulling out and try not to push carbon further down inside. But you probably can't see, but inside it is, unfortunately, it's quite carboned up around the valves. I don't know if that's going to be a problem in the future. Hopefully not. Like I said, this I think can only help. Less carbon in the system. Hopefully if it all starts and runs all right, I'll give it a good blowout up a dual carriageway or something, try and flush through any carbon that's sat around the back of the valve. Yeah, we're too far in now, we'll just have to wait and see. You know when that 5-minute job turns into a 3-hour nightmare? Well, thank you, Mr. Manifold Bolt. Now has a non-standard bolt, but it does the job. You'd be hard pressed to notice, I think. Just snapped. Was doing it to the torque spec, just gave way. I knew what had happened straight away. It snapped right inside the block, or inside the cylinder head. I had no option really, I had to drill it out, and then it would not come out. I managed to drill it dead center, and I thought, this is going to come out for sure, this is an easy one. Tried it with an easy out, no dice. Tried it hammering a Torx bit in, no, but didn't want to come out. I ended up having to erode it down to the threads, and then running a tap down it. So yeah, bad night really, but it's on. I'm definitely going to call it a day for tonight. I should be able to get the rest of the wiring on tomorrow at least, probably the clutch and flywheel I should think as well, and get it ready to go back in the car. Whether it does go back in the car I don't know. I've got to pick up some more parts tomorrow, such as the crankshaft pulley, which needs replacing, and it wasn't cheap either, that was quite expensive. And a few other little bits and pieces like the drive shaft nuts. Somebody's reused them in the past and absolutely butchered them, so they need replacing. We are making progress, but stuff like this is just so annoying because you want to crack on. Yeah, I couldn't leave it either. So right, that's probably the end of this episode, so only a short one this time, but hopefully next time better progress.